Are we live? We live. I think we're live. We're live. I know it's telling my followers. I don't like calling y'all followers. I call you fam. So love, fam. What's going on? Angie, what's up? It's your man Dean Edwards. That's Cuzzo. Star, what's up? I see you. Still gotta do that video. I didn't forget. Tenerife, what's going on? Alexis, Mike Chapo, Ginger Faden. Yes, the naturals are big and growing and bouncy. And Jean-Paul, what's going on, man? Blessings. Thanks for having me on. Check out my man Jean-Paul Comedy. He does a funny show every Sunday night. Make sure you follow him. Very funny show. Tonight on the Futhamuckin Protocol, we have a great show. Heidi, what's going on? Shout out to my Boston Comedy Club crew. Maya DiGiorgio, Masavia Greer, Yumi, what's going on? Tina Delfino, I see you. Yeah, we have a great episode tonight. Thank you for everybody. Nah, I promise I'll get that in. KBK Pick, what's going on? Jen Stevens, what's up? Yeah, I have a good friend of mine. They're all good friends. Let me explain something to y'all. Reason we have such great shows is because I have great friends that are willing to come on and chop it up with me for you know, an hour or three, like JB Smooth. Gina Penneezy, what's going on? You love my laugh. I love you for laughing at it. Thank you. You know, shout out to everybody that was tuned in last week with Jim Gaff. Again, we had a great time with Jimmy Gaff last week. Some upcoming guests next week. We have a good friend of mine, very funny comic. Check out her special single black female. Marina Franklin will be on. Keith Robinson, shut up, stupid. What's up, Keith, man? You know what? Keith Robinson, one of the funniest cats in the game, and also one of my good friends in this game that's been not only supportive, but has been a mentor to us young comedians since he was Pudgeon. Oh, thank you, Ginger. I appreciate. I'm glad I bring so much joy. Just trying to give, not trying, doing. There's no try. Do or do not. There is no try. Like I said, Marina Franklin's on next week. Black Girls with Accents. Make sure you follow their page. Great podcast. Marina Franklin next week. I have my man. Then we have an SNL block. I have an SNL block of some of my friends that actually have been on SNL either with me or at different times. My man Finesse Mitchell is going to be on Monday, July 27th. And just confirmed earlier today, my man Jay Farrell will be on the first Monday in August. I believe that's August. Is it August 3rd? Somebody check, double check. I see you. Donna, what's going on? Just the Princess, what's going on? And oh, you know what I didn't play? You know what? I'll play it when Chris comes on. Tonight, I'll rehash when he comes on. But this next cat we have on tonight, talented comedian, talented host, talented producer, talented writer. He's a taskmaster in the realm of entertainment in the world of Hollywood. My man Chris Spencer. I first became familiar with him on a TV show. How many of y'all remember the TV show Vibe? Remember back in the days after Arsenio's show was no longer on the air, then every network ran and scrambled. They were like, we need black. We need someone black on TV late at night, huh? Yeah. Chris did his thing on Jamie Foxx, good friend of Jamie Foxx's as well, which we're gonna get into tonight. Well, Chris was the host. He hosted Quincy Jones's Vibe. Funny Christine, what's going on? Tell Aaron and the baby I said what's up. I just was watching the video when you brought the baby to Stand Up New York. And me, you and Yamanika were hanging out. Yes, Alexis, vibe. Remember that song by R. Kelly? No, it was R. Kelly in the public announcement. Vibe, vibe, vibe. You stop the press. Really turn me on. Tracy Lord, I see you. What's going on? Reyes Dillinger, what's going on? Games, Ames, I see you. Thanks for hanging out. We're still waiting for my man Chris Spencer will be in the building because I just texted him. Christine Straightforward, I see you. He's on his way because I texted him 40 minutes ago, and he said cool. So if y'all see him and I happen to be yapping as it happens, just give me a finger pointing up saying, Chris is here. Rob Stapleton in the building. Yo, Rob, give us the name of the movie again, man. I forgot. Rob Stapleton's movie. Rob, another good friend of mine, funny, talented comedian / writer. He was a guest on here about a month and a half ago, and he has his movie debut that he wrote. Rob, did you direct it too? Yeah, the stuff. That's it. Y'all make sure you check out the stuff on Vimeo. Pay for it because it's still cheaper than most of the movies that are coming out on Netflix and Amazon and whatnot, where you got to pay $20. I'm not paying $20 for a movie. If it's Rob's movie, I will pay $20 because that's my friend. Huh? Aaron Speaker, what up, Aaron? Last time I saw Aaron was in Florida. I see you wrote and produced. Yes, Rob Stapleton, writer, not only a comedian, but a talented writer and producer. Looking forward to seeing his dream realized on screen, man. I look forward to seeing it. Give us the date when it drops. Real Miss Nita, thank you for hanging out. July 20th. So y'all got a week. Y'all got a week from tonight. All right. Here's what you do next week. All right. I'm in my Charlie Murphy voice. All right. All right. Here's what you do. All right. Next week, watch Rob's movie at 8:00. And then come hang out with me and Marina at 11 o'clock. All right? Make sure, get it right. Do your thing. Check out my man Rob Stapleton's The Stuff. Somebody go to Chris Spencer's page and tell him, hey, yo, Chris, Dean is waiting for you to check in. All right? What if, you know what, I'm in Eddie Murphy mode right now. Susan Cochran, what's going on? Yeah, what if how many of y'all were here a couple of weeks ago with Russell Peters? Oh, Christine, the movie, she saw it. Okay, awesome. That's awesome. So y'all make sure, big fan, supporter of comedy, straightforward, says it's good, then it's good. So y'all make sure you go check out his movie next week. Secret Coders Academy, I see you. Thanks for coming back through. Yeah, Rob, text Chris and tell that fool to stop. You know, it's funny, you probably watch it. He's like, yeah, you know what, I'm gonna make him sweat a little bit. Carol Byers, Carol, what's going on? Chris got caught in that kitchen to living room traffic. I know you ain't never lied, Jean Paul. What was I saying? Oh, you know what I was saying? I was saying, what if I was saying in Eddie Murphy's voice? You know what it would be crazy, right? If Chris did like Russell Peters did. What I think it was like 3, maybe 4 weeks ago, where Russell Peters, he didn't forget, but he forgot, and he made sure that he checked in, but it took him like 25 minutes. So I promise I'm not going to talk to y'all for 25 minutes. When all else fails, do a Denzel impression, huh? When all else fails in life, make sure you have No, you know what I feel like doing? You know what? Hello, my loves. Hello, so I'm in Monique mode right now, and I'm here to tell y'all something right now. Make sure you go to Monique's page and check out She Just Barbecued Watermelon. I ain't never heard of that in my life, but people do that now. Make sure you check out Monique's page. Tell him Dean Edwards sent you over there, because Monique, she's not a big girl now. She's just a little big. She's just a little round, huh? But she can't really call y'all skinny women skinny bitches anymore, because she's getting there herself. But it's all good. Well, how come? Monique always look like she ready to tell somebody something. Let me tell you something. But I love how she says, Chris says someone tried to lock into his page and now his page is messed up. Are you serious? Yo, that'd be crazy. Chris. So Rob said, Chris says someone tried to lock into his page now and his page is messed up. Yo, that's crazy. He's trying to handle it and get to me now. Hey, well, that's, you know what? That's why we have technical issues. I mean, you know, this is what we do. Huh? Choose more in the building. Choose the man in the building. Let me ask y'all, how y'all been dealing with, you know, not only Corona, but also the pandemic, but also just, you know, everything going on in the world. You know, we get into so many laughs on this show that we don't get to. I don't get to read a lot of your comments. Fisher fam, I see you. What's going on? You know, how y'all holding up? I'm holding up all right, man. You know, every you take it one day at a time, huh? I suggest to everybody. He's texting me now, telling me to tell you he's still trying to handle that. Okay, Rob, I appreciate you, fam. Let him know we are patiently waiting for a track to explode on. If it's stunning you want and it has to get over on. Yeah, how's everybody holding on? Technically, he's probably sleeping. Well, he can't sleep if he's texting. You know what I mean? Yeah, it sucks, but you know what else we gonna do? Y'all get to look at my beautiful hair, huh? I want you to. I looked at a picture from February. Yo, my hair has grown a lot more than I expected it. I'm gonna talk to y'all about this. And Jean Paul or every comic on here, Rob. Y'all could Miss, what up, Miss Melly? What's going on? It's been a long time since them cruises. Nobody's on the cruises working right now. DC in the building. What's going on, Rob? Yeah, I was on my man Ali Sadiq's page earlier today, and people don't realize that you know, people always think that rappers beef, but I just found out that comics beef too. You need to throw a pic in that thing like back in the 90s. Nah, I ain't throwing no pics. You know what? Back in the 90s, I was fly. I had a little. It was a high top. I guess it was a low high top. I never had the kid and play joint, but I had a little high top, and my hair is, as you can see, is naturally curly. I'm flossing and flexing right now, but it was curly. I stumbled onto, because for years everybody was doing, we called it the high fry, where you would get the little jerry curl up top but faded on the sides. And what I did, I was cheap. Okay, I was cheap, but I learned. One day, I had washed my hair and I had put Dax wax in my hair, and yo, my hair was wild curly. These shows in the Minority Report make it tolerable. Thank you, Gina. I appreciate that. I'm sure Jean-Paul appreciates that too. That's the name of the show, the Minority Report. Check out my man Jean-Paul Comedy's page and follow him so he can give you details on when to watch the Minority Report, which airs, I believe, on Sunday nights. On YouTube and Facebook Live. We know you doing Secret Team Natural tutorials. You know what? I should. I see so many people doing it up. You know, but everybody that does tutorials on their hair winds up posing with their butt aimed out. Why is every woman's, like, when y'all take pictures, one leg is up, one knee is up, and one leg is down? That's always weird to me. You got that paddle thing. You know what? Monroe, I do have, you know what, I think he probably uses the sponge. So here's what the sponge does, all right? And this is funny. This is what we need to do in the world to bring people together. And what up, son? People have to understand that what the foam sponge brush does, it has one side sort of is forked, right? They're these forks that aim out, and the other side is flat, but it has circles. So when you do it, the forks grab the hair, and as you go in a circular motion, yes, I do have a bunch of them. As you go in a circular motion, it grabs them, and like when you were a kid, everybody that had hair as a kid, you know, you played in your hair and you twirled it. So that's what it does. I also, for anyone that doesn't know, Kareem Green, very funny young man, good friend of mine, Kareem Green. Mustard and mayonnaise, mustard and mayonnaise, mustard and mayonnaise. Wanna man to Shack Life? I see you. What it does is it gathers the hair and keeps it as you sort of brush in a circular motion. It grabs the hair and coils it for you. What I used to do prior to that, I would braid my hair in cornrows. I'd probably do about 7 to 11 cornrows back, and then as you put the cornrows in, have whoever's putting the cornrows in. There's this lotion called Motions Lotions, right? Miss Butter Pecan, I see you. Show us the grease stain on the couch. No grease stain. There ain't no Jerry curl up here. Now, back in the days, though, I can't front. I probably ruined a couple of my friends' parents. I ruined somebody's couch back in the days. You braid the hair, put the motions in, and then leave it in for like 3 to 5 days or maybe more if you don't feel like doing anything to your hair. Then when you take it out, you have wavy. You got a wavy afro. It gives you the same. Actually, the curls are wider. It's not as these are tight. Daniel Mitchell, I see you. What's going on? Shout out to New York's own. I can't see who that is. Hey, 718 Styles, what's up? Date night. Chris and Vanessa. Okay, I see what. I see what happened. We'll do it this way. We have Chris is coming in. I love it. As we said in the Army, you make it happen. And Chris is making it happen.
Hold on a second. Let me get into the light.
What's up, man?
Something happened where I log into my account.
Hold on, Chris. I'm putting in my Bluetooth, family. I'm putting my Bluetooth in right now. Better one. Put my phone in on.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you, bro.
Oh, good. Yeah, something happened. Somebody tried to log into my account, and now I can't log into my account.
Oh wow! Oh wow! You know what? It's someone that's trying to hate on this podcast. That's what it is.
I think my Instagram got coronavirus.
Hey man, well it's all good, and shout out to my man Rob Stapleton. I know Rob let us know what was going on here. I know he was texting, so thank you, Rob. I appreciate that. And you know what? Jean Paul said Chris is on Jamaica time.
Of course.
Your Yardy time.
What'd you expect?
It's all right. It's all right. We make it work, man. How you been, man? Welcome to the Futhamuckin Protocol.
Thank you, sir. I'm great.
Yeah.
A lot of people. I wish I could say I'm suffering like a lot of people. I was in the beginning because it was lonely, but now that I can kind of get out and play some golf. And, you know, we kind of redecorated the backyard, so I got a little hoop. So me and my kids are hooping. So I'm
Okay. Good. Well, I'm glad. Let me just for anyone new that doesn't know what we do on the Futhamuckin Protocol, I like to bring my friends, my family, my comedian cohorts that have been doing this thing for a while on to share some insight on their journey and their history. You know, my man right here, Chris Spencer, very talented. I've already gone through this, but I'm saying it again so Chris knows that how much I respect and love the brother's catalog of work. You know, we have a talented comedian, a host, writer, producer on the show right now. I first became familiar with Chris when he hosted Vibe, the syndicated late night talk show. Vibe, you've seen him in countless movies from Don't Drink Your Juice in the Hood While Being a Menace to South Central.
Something like that.
Something like that. It's a long title. Blank Man. He helped create one of the hottest shows on the West Coast as far as comedy, Chocolate Sundays at the Laugh Factory on Sunday nights. That's where we first became friends, because every time I went out to LA, and that has to be a good 19 years ago, when I first started going to LA, Chris and Pookie Wigington always rolled out the red carpet. I say, yo, I'm in town. And y'all made sure y'all gave me love and gave me a place to work out. So I appreciate that. And is going on to become one of the premier writers / producers in Hollywood, because you're the go-to dude now, man. You know what I mean? Like, you're the dude to an extent, and he's being humble, and I appreciate it, but help create, to me, still probably the funniest sketch I ever saw on the BET Awards with the Real Husbands of Hollywood, which went on to become a successful television show. How many years was that on the air on BET? Y'all did 5 seasons, so salute to that.
In BET numbers, that was only like 13 shows. No, we did 60 shows, something like that.
60 shows, man. That's big things for BET, for any network.
Any network, yes.
That's impressive. For BET, that's even bigger things, man. Because you know, you turn on. I always joke that when you turn on a movie, if you go to watch Waiting to Exhale at 6 p.m. on BET, it's ending at 11.
Oh yeah.
So the fact that y'all got to squeeze in a half hour of programming every week over the course of 5 seasons, that's great. And now
I'm currently in the process of writing the movie.
Okay.
Real Husbands, the movie.
All right, is that right? Oh, y'all heard it here. I don't know if you heard it here first, but I'm taking credit that you heard it here first on the Futhamuckin Protocol. That what's up, Ali Sadiq?
I was just about to say what up, Ali Sadiq.
Yeah. I was watching it, Chris. You and I, we could talk about it, because Ali had on earlier today. I guess there was young comics in Texas going in on veteran comics, and you know how you like you'll turn on someone's live and say, I'm gonna watch for maybe 5 minutes. These fools had me watching for a good hour, because they would go, and Ali opened the platform to everybody from Sidney Castillo to Tone Bell, to my man Black Ron, and
Love
Billy
Black
D.
Ron.
Washington. Yeah, great comics. And what is your take on, because I see it in the hip hop world, where newer artists that get on and veteran artists, it always seems like this, there's this conflict where young cats don't feel like they're getting respect from the old heads, and so they do this thing that I've noticed, where they like, nah, you OG, you had your chance. And I'm like, yeah, but they're still here. And in this particular case, like, it was brought up that one particular comic was saying that Billy D, he beat Billy D. Washington in a couple of contests, which I appreciate Ali saying a contest don't make anything. Billy D been doing his thing 30 years now, and has a catalog. So Ali had Billy D come on, and Billy D made the best point. He said, you know what? Just because you got a college degree 30 years ago doesn't mean that it's not valid. You know what I mean? So what's your take on it? Jessica, what's up? Jessica Broadkin?
You know, it's so funny, and I don't know why there's such a versus, and we weren't like that with Eddie and Damon
at
and
all.
Robert Townsend and Keenan. Those were our elders. We respected them. We never disrespected them by calling them old school, or you had your chance. Like, what the fuck?
Right.
You know what I mean? And I think they feel a certain animosity from us, not me, and probably not you, because of what they're doing on the internet. You know, a lot of them are doing different things with social media. And I think some of the older guys are maybe envy or are mad because they're able to sell tickets and go into these clubs because they pee into a fan and then all of a sudden the club owner thinks he's brilliant, and now he's selling tickets, and now the old school dude is like, yo, I can't even get in that club, and you let this dude in here peeing into a fan. And so there's this thing that goes back and forth that we didn't do. Ali Sadiq, we didn't fucking diss DL. We didn't diss Marsha Warfield. And like, when we saw the motherfuckers, we was like this.
Right.
And a lot of these guys are respectful, you know what I mean? But
yeah.
I just don't understand who could say you had your chance. Like, we ain't gonna be up for the same things. You know what I mean? You're up for something. I'm coming to play your father.
Right.
Your big brother or your uncle. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I don't get it. I don't like it.
Right. Yeah, no, I agree. I've never understood that with, like I said, I never saw it really in hip hop or in comedy, but I saw it in hip hop, and I understand. You know, I don't even like calling, you know, cats from a certain era old school because you know, age is a state of mind. They're legendary, but you know, if someone was hot back in the days, those records are still hot.
They don't stop being funny.
Right.
Like, funny don't stop. You actually Tommy Davidson.
Oh, bro, I don't want to follow him. I don't want to have to follow Tommy Davidson. You know, so yeah. We just I wanted to get your take on that, man. You know, to take me back to when you first. Where did you start, Chris? Tell the people where you're from.
Started in college.
Okay.
I was in LA, and I did a couple of open mics at the Laugh Factory, the Comedy Store. Got the bug.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
A manager saw me early, and was, yo, I want to take you on the road with my client. I was like, who is that? He's like, Jeff Foxworthy. I was like,
oh, wow.
Or there was a blue collar tour.
Uh-huh.
A redneck tour, and I was the opening act on the redneck tour.
Oh, wow. You were the brown neck.
Yes, bingo. Yes.
So, how many were on that tour?
Me and Jeff.
Oh, just you and Jeff. Okay.
I was the opening act. And, you know, my first city was Lynchburg, Virginia.
Wow. So how much time did you have? Because you said you just started,
right?
And you lucked out, and I'm imagining you stumbled onto at least a tight 5, 10?
Oh, 10, 15 minutes. Yeah. I mean,
okay. So
it wasn't like the first day I started, but we're talking like year 2, 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who was your motivation? Like, what motivated you to get on stage that first time?
Sully McCullough.
Shout out to Sully McCullough.
We were at UCLA together, and we were around.
Okay.
And they were like, "What do you want to do?" And he's like, "I want to be a comedian." And he started doing impressions. All these girls was all over him going, "Oh my God, I love that!" And they're like, "What about you?" I was like, "Comedian." I think he could do all these impressions, and they were all over. I'm like, "You need to learn an impression." Bill Cosby, and so I tried that. I think I could do Sean Connery. You know, whatever was working for him, I was trying to get it to work for him.
Right. Okay. Shout out to Sully, man. Sully's a great dude. Another talented comic / writer, producer, and all that. So you're on the road a year and a half in, and you're traveling literally across the country with someone who's poised to become one of the biggest stars in comedy, at least for a certain moment in time. Right. What sort of gain do you gain from Foxworthy?
An act. Like, I was just fucking around.
Okay.
Every night. And that was hard for me. You know, my ADHD couldn't do the same jokes in a row. So I remember my man, stop fucking around the audience, do a set. I was like, okay. And so Jeff was like, you know, it's best that you know that you have your act in case, because I used to play with the audience, some of that shit might not go your way. You always act.
Right.
And so I learned how to perform an act. So wait a second. While I'm talking to you, I'm trying to sign in so you can so my fans can actually also join us. So
okay.
I'm trying it again as we talk. I have no idea what happened. To secure your account, we're gonna send you a. I don't know. It's racism.
It is, man.
I can't talk. But
it's all good. Yeah, no. So you're on the road with Jeff. Does he sit down with you? And you know, because oftentimes when you're on. when you're on the road with someone, they want to break bread because they're out there bored as well. Right. So is he saying, hey, let's go have some breakfast and maybe go over your act and all? Yeah.
Yeah, not necessarily go over my act, but he was my inspiration for us doing the book 150 Ways to Tell If You're Ghetto, because he had the redneck.
Right. Okay. Okay. And did you just reminded me of James Hanna for some reason. Rest in peace, James Hanna. If anybody gets a chance, go look up very talented brother going too soon, James Hanna, man. Cause that's what it was, because he used to have a bit of something where you're get to win or something like that.
Yeah, it was
right. Yeah. Okay, so how long were you on the road with Foxworthy?
2 years. And
wow. Okay.
Listen us. And so then I went on the road with Damon Wayans.
Oh, damn. Going on the road. How did Damon find out about you? Just sort of same working. Okay.
Being in the clubs with Sean. And then I would, Sean would punch stuff up for Damon, and I would go, and then why don't you try this? And he'd be like, who is this? The next night, and maybe you could do this and this and this. And then sometimes, after a while, he would say something. What do you think, Chris? I'd be like, if you did this, did this.
Uh-huh. Right.
Homie the clown. No, I didn't.
No. That would have been funny if you did, though.
Right? Come on.
So Damon takes a liking to you and says, yo, we gotta, want to bring you on the road with me.
Yes. Yeah.
What's the difference? What difference did you notice immediately, aside from the obvious, going on the road with Damon versus going on the road with Jeff? Because I'm thinking at this point, I mean, Damon he's now one name. You only have to say Damon. You don't have to say Damon Wayans, and he's that dude.
I think I could work now. Hang up.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Yeah. All right, y'all. So, hey, Doc Austin, what's up, Doc Austin? Okay, look at that. Chris Spencer, he joined, he waved, and now he's about to send that. Mark Prince, I see you, fam. Yeah, Chris, send that request so I can just press a button. I don't feel like looking for you. I will. Let's see if he sends it. We appreciate y'all hanging out with us, dealing with these technical difficulties. Okay, I'm gonna just look for the brother. Chris Spencer. Don't see it. Yeah, don't see it. I see Chris Spencer's joined. They should just make it to where you can just press on the person's name, but of course they wouldn't make it that easy. Damn bastards. Yeah, Chris, send me that request, family. Send me that request. Is it up there yet? Now I see you, Prince. Chris, can you send me that request? That request. TJ, what up? Oh, I thank you, Doc Austin. I do my best. I have notes. I come prepared. I can't see Chris. I saw he waved. But no, he did. He's in here. He did wave. I saw Chris Spencer wave. I'm just waiting for. I want to be able to just press. You should. Yeah, no. The second hour is going to be so much more phenomenal. There it goes. All right, boom. There we go. Go live. Here we go. Now, what's up, Vaughn? What's up, Vaughn DeCarlo? Y'all make sure you check out our podcast as well. Somebody said, who needs Chris? Okay, there we go.
Yeah, who is that?
Hey!
BK pick. Go to hell, whoever you are, lady.
Okay, this here we go. Now we're in business. Damn you, whoever tried logging into Chris Spencer's Instagram. I had no idea these things happen.
I didn't
Somebody, right. Mark said you had a Teddy Riley moment.
Tell Mark can't do those jokes. No more Teddy Riley jokes. He'll call you and cuss you out.
Yo, I heard that. I heard he went in on Tony Baker.
Yes. But he was nice about it after he called and apologized. And
okay. Okay, is good moments. So when we last were talking to Chris 3 minutes ago, you're on the road with Damon Wayans.
Yes.
Damon digs that you're punching up his jokes, even though he doesn't know you from Adam.
Right.
He brings you on. What's the immediate difference you noticed being on the road with Damon?
Blacks.
Okay.
There's black people.
A lot. And what difference did you notice immediately having black people in the audience versus, Jeff Foxworthy's audience?
I got to be me. You know what I mean? I got to talk about my experiences. I became less worried about will they get it. Like I knew I could just breathe, and they knew my breath smelled like Doritos. You know what I mean?
Okay. Right. You felt comfortable. You didn't feel like you had to put on your for everybody out there listening, it's the equivalent of when if you're black, you're Latino, or you're Asian, you're Middle Eastern, it's when you go to work and you're the only one that looks like you.
Right.
You become a little more articulate, and everything you say, you're representing the entire race.
Yeah, it's just you want to make sure you're perfect. Like, I couldn't, and it was just like, I didn't want to be perfect. I wanted to be like, you know what I mean? And I learned how to perform Damon. You know what I mean? I watched how loose he was, and he was a great writer. So it was just like, like going to college. And Sean was on the road with us, so it was fantastic.
Oh, so that's even better because it's like you're there with your friend, and his older brother just happens to be a legend.
But most of the dates it was just me and Damon. But a lot of times Sean would come out, and that was just, incredible.
Oh, that's dope. Around what year is this, roughly?
94, 3.
94, 93, 94. Okay, so what? After being on the road, you're on the road with Damon. I'm guessing for a good year or two.
Yep.
A good year or two.
Yeah.
After you come off the road, do you find your swag? Do you feel a little more comfortable on stage now, regardless of what audience you go in front of?
Exactly. I'm doing theaters with Damon. You know what I mean?
Right.
So yeah.
Right.
That was a great feeling. I mean, and everything was first class. And it kind of messed me up a little bit because I was spoiled now. I was
just about to ask you that.
Shit like that. Like I never did the comedy road like a lot of you guys did, which I envied. I mean, because a lot of it was because I got a couple of commercials here and there and some TV shows, but I never got to hit it hard like you guys did. And I envied, you and Chris and Reggie McFadden and
right.
People always ask me about my class. Is that our class?
You know what? I think our class. I think McFadden. You and I would be Def Jam after Def Jam sort of wasn't as hot.
Right.
If that makes sense.
So we're not in the same class with Bill Bellamy.
I think Bill's maybe like a year or two ahead of us because he was in that initial. These are the cats, like those first maybe 15 cats that were on Def Jam's first year or two. Steve Wilson, what up? Those cats, they shot stratosphere because they were on TV and everybody. You knew who Hamburger was. You knew who Teddy Carpenter was.
Yeah.
Adele Givens, Chris Tucker, all those cats that came, Chris Charles out of Chicago, cats we don't even hear their names anymore. But those first cats, I always look at, they were ahead of us. And then came cats that are more our contemporaries. Ian Edwards, Talent, Will Sylvance, those were the cats that we came up with. And we're in the same trenches, and
class, right?
Say again.
JB Smoove was in that same class, right, with us? Or you think he's ahead of us?
JB was like, it's funny because he was, but JB started, and I think and it's funny because he was just on here 2 weeks ago. JB started, I want to say 87. So he actually was on, if not the first round of Def Comedy Jam, he was in that he was the beginning of the second round.
Right.
You know? So yeah, like Rob Stapleton. Rob is our contemporary, right. you know. So yeah, but it's funny because I think the lines wound up over time, because we've been doing this so long, have become sort of overlapped because right. in this entertainment business or game or whatever you want to call it, everybody has peaks and valleys at different times.
Right.
And so when like for instance, your first big, I mean, you like you said, you had booked other TV shows and whatnot and commercials. I just thought of a commercial you did that just popped. So not gelling. Was it?
Oh my God. Dr.
I remember that commercial. Yeah, Mike Epps. Mike is one of us, Les, obviously. But I remember, like I said, when I first became familiar with you, was you had Sinbad, not Sinbad, you had Magic Johnson. Arsenio was gone, right? They had canceled Arsenio's show, and now now Hollywood realized that there was a black dollar, right? Between Def Comedy Jam, Comic View, Uptown Comedy Club, and Arsenio Hall, they realized, oh, black people watch TV. And so as they do that, they realize, oh, Arsenio's gone. We need to fill a slot. So suddenly you have Keenan Ivory Wayans, or was it Magic Johnson was first?
No, it was me and Keenan first.
It was you and Keenan, okay.
Got Sinbad, and then they got rid of the Keenan show, and then they went and got Magic.
Okay.
All of us.
So
Teddy Carpenter did one, which was incredible. I was at the taping for that. Bill Bellamy did one. John did one. Yeah. Wow. So talk to me about that process, because this, I mean, at that point, you got to be looking like, yo, this is the biggest opportunity of my life, because they're looking for someone who resembles you, unlike they'd ever done that before for late night talk. Right.
So how do you find out that you're auditioning for it, or do you audition?
Jamie Masada was at the Laugh.
Okay, from the Laugh Factory.
He's like, yo, they're having a nationwide search for the host of this magazine show called the magazine's called Vibe, and I think.
Oh, right.
And I was like, no. He's like, what? I said, I'm an actor.
Yo,
I don't host. No. He's like, okay. A couple weeks go by. Yo, they still haven't found the guy. I said, I am an actor. And then so finally, one day he's like, yo, man, can you at least just go meet Quincy Jones? Shit, what is it? I mean, just go have tea. I said, let me tell you, if I meet Quincy Jones, he's going to talk me into doing it. He's like, well, come meet him. So I went and met him. And literally, his back was turned. Jones, Chris Spencer's here to see you. And he turned and he went, so, you the motherfucker that don't want to meet me. And I was like, oh. People at this level cut like that. You the motherfucker that don't want to meet me. I was like, no, sir. He said, nigga, you know how to. I did Oprah, I did Whoopi, I did Will Smith, and you don't want to meet me? Right. I thought I was an actor. True story. So did you book it on the spot? No, then I had to go through this process. They had like 5 other guys. We did mock shows. We didn't never saw each other. Like one dude came one day, another dude came another day, and then they did like some testing and checked with the network. Right. I kind of, I won out.
Dig it. Okay, all right. So you booked the show that you didn't want to book. Right. Which is always the case, right? You always book what you didn't plan on being part of. So you book it. Are you taking it like, I'll see where this goes? Are you excited? I mean, because you did like.
I'm excited, but they're promising me things that aren't happening. Like I knew something was wrong early on. Like when they started doing the billboards and marketing of the show, Like Keenan came on the exact same night, same time. He had big
I remember.
That said Keenan Ivory Wayans show. Mine said Vibe, and there was pictures of white people in the letters.
Oh God!
I was like,
and Vibe is a black magazine.
Fuck, I'm in trouble.
Oh wow!
Then they have a launch party for Vibe magazine host Chris Spencer, which the infamous Vibe party where Biggie got shot. I thought that was supposed to be my party. They told me that was my party. So I get there, and there's not one picture, nothing with my name, nothing saying, here's a new host of this new hot magazine. So I'm sitting there going, this is fucked up. And then the show came, and they just didn't, we didn't see eye to eye, and they didn't like my writers, and I didn't like their writers, and just, I was new, so doing a monologue was like the roughest thing in the world. We do jokes, and I know where I'm going, but to read a monologue is an art.
Right. Sticking to the prompter,
Yes. And by the time I learned it and got great at it is when they let me go.
Right. Do you, early on, because you just said your writers, did you bring in your own crew as well?
I brought in a few, Buddy Lewis was there.
Okay, shout out to Buddy Lewis.
Yeah.
Okay, Sully. Because a lot of cats wouldn't do that. And so I admire that, this is your first big opportunity. And we spoke about this when I had Tiffany Haddish on a couple of weeks ago, that whenever you get an opportunity, if you're a performer of color, whether black, Latino, Asian, whatever, it behooves you to bring in as many people that you A, know, and B, look like you, and have your sensibilities, because A, you're breeding loyalty, right? You're breeding loyalty, but you're also giving them opportunity.
Was there?
Hugh, okay, right. Hugh Moore, shout out to Hugh. Hugh's been everywhere. Yeah. Hugh's been everywhere. But at what point do you realize, dealing with the network, that you are, you're fighting an uphill battle?
3 weeks in, I started hearing mumblings about me getting...
Really? Wow.
Walk. I was like, I can't walk. And I talked to the executive producers, like, there's no way you're getting fired. And they were like, if you were getting fired, one was like, I'll leave, and the other one was like, I will let you know first. These motherfuckers, they were green, and they didn't let me know first.
Right. So now you find out, how did they let you know that that it wasn't happening? Your grandmother?
She saw it on the news.
Wow. Hollywood boy. Rough.
But this is the business we chose.
Yeah, you're right. You know what? You're actually right.
I was watching KTLA News, and they said they're replacing the host. New host to be named later. Do you know anything about this? I was like, no. And then I called them, and they're like, oh, yes. Can you come by for lunch? I said, no, take my lawyer to lunch. And I hung up.
Wow. I was, damn. All I hear is Esther, damn.
Yes.
Do you go into do you deal with depression? Because that's a lot. Or you just kind of take it on the chin?
I was ready to go. I just wanted to go on my own terms. You know what I mean? Imagine going, I want to get traded from this team. They're like, nigga, you already got traded. You're like, oh, okay.
Okay.
Does the code in the locker room still work? I can still get in, get my bag. Okay, great. Yeah. Right.
All right. Well, shoot. That's fine. Hey, so I remember, and I had Talent on. A couple, probably like a month and a half, 2 months ago, and I told him, and he said you actually roll with it because you also hosted a successful Sunday night urban comedy show. And I said to him, I remember when you came to New York to Boston Comedy Club on a Sunday night. And I remember you had a great set. And then afterwards he said, he said, give it up for that nigga. Ain't nobody gonna remember his name because he just got fired. They just gonna call him, remember that nigga? And I said, the Talent, and I'm glad that you laughed about it, because what he said, look, I'm watching that like, because my mom's told me something years ago and holds to it to this day. She's like, Dino, if I ever when I see black people on TV, I'm always going to watch it because I want people to watch you when you're on TV. Even if I don't know them, I want to support them. And so when he did that, I was like, damn, T, you couldn't let that slide. But he was like, nah, you know, that's you got to address the elephant in the room. And he was a host, so he understood. Say again?
He was talking about me or you?
He was talking about you.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I didn't have a late night show.
No, but you know.
Yeah.
I was like, when you said that, I was like, I thought he said that about me. Okay. I thought
yeah.
Saturday Night Live situation. Okay, got you.
Yeah, no, he said it about you when it happened. I was there that night. Right. We used to go, every week. And so I was there that night, and I said to him, I asked, I was like, yo, man, why you hit my man? And I didn't know you at the time. I just knew you from the show, but I just was like, man, you can't kick a dude when he's down. He's like, nah, there's a lesson learned. He said, you gotta address the elephant in the room. And I said, okay, all right. I said, if Chris was cool with it, I was cool with it, It just, so Vibe ends, and where do you go from there? Do you reevaluate? Are you an actor again?
I'm back to acting. I'm doing the 6th Man and Don't Be a Menace to South Central. No, that was before. I went back to acting. I'm doing bid parts. I'm doing PR and all kind of little things.
Right.
A bad sitcom here and a pilot over here.
Right.
I'm chugging along.
Right. I saw that show. I looked up your IMDb and I faintly remember the show. It was called The Show, I think.
Maestro Clark.
Right. It was with Maestro.
Yep. Reggie Ballard.
Yeah. And Takia Crystal Kima.
Yeah, Crystal Takia. I always butcher it.
Yeah, I did too. But I found it funny because the premise of the show was a white writer gets hired to work on an all-black show. Yeah. And I said, wow, that sounds like just the opposite of what I'm sure you're used to when you get hired for shows. Not so much now because it's changed, but in those early years, I'm sure you were the go-to black dude in a lot of writers' rooms, that it might have been you and maybe one other black cat.
Right.
So you.
I didn't really write for many sitcoms where like my job was to go write, but on some of these award shows, the MTV Awards, the ESPYs, there'd be, well, ESPYs was different because Jamie Foxx came with a crew. They had their white writers, like this is my writers. And so I was in some white rooms and they were uncomfortable at times, but I never actually did 3 seasons on, Punky Brewster and no shit like that.
Right. Now, and I was going to say that you, because would you say were you in Jamie always seemed to have a crew and clique of from Speedy and Johnny Mac. Right. But I remember it also seemed like you, Sully, Daryl Heath, and Alex Thomas were like his young hitters, like the young guns that were coming up. Right. I always admired that Jamie seemed, once again, hey fellas, come on, I'm holding the door open, I'm pulling y'all through.
Yeah.
So would you say that helped influence you and influence the way that you move in the realm of Hollywood?
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I think it's important that we take care of each other.
Indeed.
These opportunities don't come often. And so when you get put on, you want to put other people on so they can put other people on.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. No, it does makes total sense.
Mm-hmm.
When do you say that you're, I wouldn't say branching out, but when do you say you start sort of forming your own lane, where not necessarily breaking away from Jamie, but also saying, here, I got to do my own thing?
Well, the Jamie stuff was award shows, you know what I mean?
Okay.
Specials. So that stuff is not every day and it's not every month.
Okay.
It's every 3 or 4 months. You know what I mean? So
right.
Somebody just said blacks don't help each other. Unfortunately, that is absolutely wrong.
No.
That's a strong generalization.
Yeah, you can't say it like that. You got to say, the professor with ain't helping, and talk to me and Dean and figure out how we can help you. But I don't think we should just make that generalization that blacks don't.
Right. Because we just mentioned Tiffany put her whole crew of comics on. Kev's put his whole crew on. You, a lot of cats have.
Yeah, that's not true.
True, you have. I when I was on SNL, and I'll still hold this to this day. There were no black writers. And after my first season, and you got to play it smart. People also have to understand that you can't just go in bum rushing. You got to play it smart. So after year one, we're at the TCAs. I used to call Ian when I was working on stuff anyway. Working on my sketches anyway. So I spoke to a couple of producers. I said, hey man, jokingly, like tongue in cheek, I was like, hey man, why can't we have like a black writer on here? And because I didn't come with him on some militant, hey, we need some black, I said it jokingly. And he was like, yeah. He was like, who, you have someone in mind? And I already did. I was like, yeah, Ian Edwards. He was like, oh yeah, Ian came and guested. Does he have a package? I said, of course, because I'd already told Ian I'm gonna do this, and so boom, he worked on it. And then Tracy wound up bringing in someone else once he found out that I was trying to get Ian in. But prior to that, I think they had black writers sporadically throughout the history of the show. But since then, and I'm taking credit, since 2002. Me saying, hey, can we get a black writer in here? There have been black writers on that show on Saturday Night Live and 30 Rock. So that's so to whoever said that earlier, black people do look out for each other. It's just, each individual, you gotta go on an individual basis, We're actually, you know what, let me tell you, this is gonna cut us off. So I want to come back in 2 minutes. Do you have the time? And since we now have the correct, say one more. Oh, it doesn't? Oh, okay. All right. Well, in that case, then we'll keep going then.
Up so people can see one first and then a second one. You can, but you can go 3-4 hours.
I did not know that. I'm so excited now. This is, you know what? I still will. I will do that. I'm gonna go out now.
Better for people that can watch it. They can go, oh, go to part 2. Because So hit me back. I'll hit you back.
Okay. All right. Hey, y'all, we'll be right back.
Coming back in live and direct. Boogie Down Productions is large. Who's back in here with me? We're doing it. Gonna do it again, baby. You thought it was over and it's only just begun. Angie, your second time on the last hour and this hour. Doc Austin's back in, starring Stacey Hall. I see you. Thank you, Coach. I see you, man. Thanks for hanging back out with us. Yes, we are back. We are back, and we are blacker than ever. And there's Chris Spencer. He was one of the first on this time. Here we go.
Let's see. All right. As we get things cracking yet again. There we are.
I'm here.
Yes, yet again. When we last left our hero. Oh. So, all right. So talk to me about Chocolate Sundays, because it's become such an iconic night in not just in Hollywood. I mean, people all over the country talk about going, when you go to LA, and you want to check out comedy, you got to go check out Chocolate Sundays. And you were the first host. Where did the show, was it your brainchild, Pookie's? Both of you came together?
Yeah. I was doing a night just fucking around, and Pookie came and said, what are you doing with this? I said, I'm just working out. He said, there's magic here. I was like, there is? I mean, there'd be like 15, 20 people, but I was just doing it so I could be funny
and right.
Work. And he took it to a whole other level with his marketing. And like, you bring your celebrity friends and let me market this motherfucker, and we're gonna make it fantastic. And we did.
Right. Now, y'all, I knocked the hell out of that show because aside from that, the only other show, Guy Torrey was on a couple of weeks ago, so we were talking about Tuesday night at the Comedy Store was the only other hot night. And then, of course, over time, then Mo Better Mondays, you know, and Spike started doing their things. But between what Guy and them did and you and Pookie, what you and Pookie did from and this from the outside of looking in, what I was always impressed with your night was it was an urban show, but it was for all of Hollywood. So you saw. It wasn't just an urban crowd. It was a nice cross section. To me, it reminded me more of what I was used to seeing in mainstream clubs in New York that would do like an urban night, but it was a nice mixture. So like on the East Coast, when Hot 97 would have a Tuesday night at Caroline's. And so you had Ed Lover and Dr. Dre, and you get like a heavy hip hop crowd, but you'd also get just Wall Street cats and white cats, coming in. So and that's what I saw at the Laugh Factory and Chocolate Sundays. I was like, yo, I used to love coming out there, son. I still do, but I remember those years because it was packed. When did you know that you had something special with it?
When the Eddie Murphys and the Martins and the Chappelles and the Rocks would come in. Yeah. And the industry would be like, can you put this person up for me? And can you do, you know what I mean? So that's when we knew we had gold. Yeah. Because that's to me what made the show even more spectacular was, as a comic, you're about to go on, and then Eddie Murphy and crew walk by to go sit right in the center of the mezzanine. Which to me was always funny because I was like, y'all are sneaking in, but everybody sees you. Right. Herb says anything Chris touches is gold, which is true, man. So cash app you.
So then next up, I remember Wildin' Out. You were there when Wildin' Out first started. Mm-hmm. Did Nick Cannon crew come to you? How did that gig, I guess, happen?
Yeah, Nick Cannon came to me early on and said he had an idea for this show, and we worked it out. Mm-hmm. And we shot like a presentation at the Comedy Union, and they came and saw it, and they were like, "This is great. Here's some more money. Let's do something else." Mm-hmm. It's picked up from MTV. He allows me to be his head writer. Right.
So no, because I remember. Y'all shot that out like downtown. Yep. Y'all shot that downtown because I remember going Hugh Moore yet again. I told you Hugh is everywhere. Yes. And I remember going to that. I remember going to the tape, and I think that early season was like Afion. Yep. Was Cat Williams on there yet? Yeah, Cat. Leonard Robinson. Yeah, Leonard Robinson. It was, and I remember going. And I go front. I was like, what is it? I didn't know what it was. Right. But here we are. That had to be what, 06, 05, 06?
My son was born in 05. Yep, 05.
Okay, 05. And here we are. This show's been on 15 years. So you were part of something special from the ground, man. You had Herb was right. You do have a golden touch, man. So after that happens.
Oh yeah, Spanky Hayes was on there too. Mark Prince.
Spanky Hayes. That's right, Spanky. Shout out to Spank, man. Good dude right there. I miss Spanky, man. After that happens, you now are transitioning not just from actor, and not just a staff writer. You're a head writer, dude. Did you find that you enjoyed what comes with the head writer? Not only the responsibility, but you have more room to flex your voice.
Not really. I was jealous. I was envious of the performers.
Interesting.
I wanted to perform. You know what I mean?
Right.
So imagine if LeBron had the coach right now. You know what I mean? Like I felt like I should be in the game. I could average 25.
Right.
8 assists, but this is better for my family. I got gentle, and these phone calls are happening, and I got tired of auditioning, and so it worked out. But there was a time where I was battling it because I felt I was too pretty to be behind the camera.
Right.
So, I had to kind of make, come to grips with myself and go, and a lot of it was with my wife, who was like, "You're a writer. Stop trying to fight this natural thing that you have." It was so funny. It's like, I want to be a comic, but I didn't want to go on the road because my kids were babies. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, and I didn't want to be stuck in no writer's room. So it was like, how do you make money? I can't do it at the Comedy Store Laugh Factory paying $50, 25. So the writing eventually began to take over.
Okay. That's interesting and very. I appreciate, as I'm sure people do, appreciate the honesty, because a lot of people wouldn't admit, admit that they had a gig but they wanted another gig, and B, wouldn't admit that it took your wife sort of saying, "Yo, stop fighting what you have that's naturally there." JB had almost the same exact story 2 weeks ago. He said, Shah, she told him, she was like, "You're gonna wind up on Curb Your Enthusiasm," and he did, in a sort of magical manner. Anybody watching, you didn't see, you can go back on my post and see it. But speak to me about, because you're very you and your lovely wife telling us, I said hello if she's not watching this. I appreciate, everyone right now, everybody's talking about Will and Jada, right? Everybody's talking about Will and Jada. But for years, I've always admired that y'all are like a Hollywood power couple, because you're not just a successful writer, but you're also a successful talent as well, successful producer. And she's a successful casting director, and speak to me about how important that is out there in the realm of Hollywood, having someone that holds you down.
Because, it got old. You know what I mean? I was like, you're not going to die the greatest casting director in the world, and you're too talented, you're too smart. And so she started creating shows, and then we decided to create, Date Night with Chris and Vanessa, which got picked up by Kevin Hart immediately to go on Sirius XM. But it was going to be months before we started. So we saw the success of the D-Nices and the Questloves and these verses. And so we're like, yo, why don't we just go on Instagram and use this as junior college and learn if we can work together. And lo and behold, we're like 3 months in, 16 different guests, something like that.
Right.
And we're having a ball. And we like each other still.
Right. That's important. You could love someone. I say that on stage. You could love someone but not like them worth a damn.
Woo! Love is hard.
But it's apparent.
Love is
y'all
easier than
dig
like
each other. Right. Say that again, man. Say that. So, Wild 'N Out's over. How long does it take before you get your next gig, your next opportunity?
I don't know. Because I don't know what was next. Well, now.
Because at that point, look, I'm just going to my notes.
Yeah, more than me. I was always getting a nice check from the award shows. I was doing the BET Awards, the Image Awards, MTV Awards, the ESPY. So in between that, I guess I have to look on IMDb myself. I don't know.
Well, I showed. Yeah, I see. The next thing I had jotted down, you had In the Flow with Afion. You had Afion's joint. That's a couple years later.
Great sketch show produced by Jamie Foxx.
Produced by Jamie.
Yeah, that was a great experience.
Did Fox being on there help you, or was that pretty much it? Just was serendipity that sort of worked out that you're both.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because I was friends with Afion.
Because at this point. Right, I was going to say at this point you've locked in, you've sort of carved out your lane as far as people saying, oh, that's one of the dudes that we should hire.
Yeah,
and what happened? That was one season.
1 season.
Y'all did one season of that. I remember. I think I went to a taping of that as well, and it was something about the skinny jeans because I remember Vincent O'Shea in leggings or something.
Probably.
Yeah, it was a disturbing sketch for a heterosexual male to watch. It's funny. Yes. Very disturbing. Sure. Hey, at the same time,
with the dope rhyme that I kick, I'm sorry.
You know, and I know I flow some old funky. That's how you know somebody's hip hop. Where you can drop.
That happens to me. Anytime somebody says something. Sound like somebody shooting. Yeah, when somebody says something, it'll remind me of a hip hop lyric immediately.
Yeah, I was the same way. Yes, you just said Justin Hires was in that sketch. Yeah, he was. I do remember right. that episode. That was funny. So are you still, because you're still getting on stage?
Yes.
And I think you did you shoot a special for LOL? That prior to Kev having LOL, like LOL Comedy Network or something, they did something for Showtime. I remember.
Right. No, I shot a special for Showtime.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
With LOL Network, I did a half-hour special, and then I also produced one where I hosted and brought on some other comedians.
Okay.
Nima Williams.
Right. Other dudes. Oh, it just froze up.
Normal?
Sorry. Frankie. I was going to say the dude from Malcolm in the Middle, but I know he's not a comic.
No, that's Frankie Munoz.
Yeah, Munoz.
Yeah.
So you do Afion, you're doing the warms. Bring me up to speed. I think 2011 is when Kev started really getting hot. He's hosting the BET Awards. You all are working on. I think she was probably writing on that too. That's where
Real Husbands got spawned from that.
That's what I was. See, I was leading to that.
I'm sorry.
No, it's all good. Where does because I remember. I'm sorry. I remember the line that made me love Real Husbands just from that first sketch was Faison Love saying, "This nigga got a lightsaber," and running away.
This nigga got a lightsaber. Yeah. Now that was actually that was on the show.
Was it? I think that was in the sketch. I think that was the sketch, bro.
No, the first sketch didn't have Faison.
No.
The second sketch had Faison when Sam Jackson hosted.
Okay.
This nigga has a lightsaber. That was on an episode. I'm trying to figure out why he had it. It started off. No, that's a couple seasons. Because the first time it started is when Robin Thicke first turned into Terry Crews, and he goes,
"Okay,
this nigga turned into Terry Crews." That's okay. And then a lightsaber came later. Yeah.
Okay. What was the genesis? Take me into the writer's room. When who pitches Real Husbands? How does the idea even occur that winds up eventually becoming 60 episodes on BET?
So so funny. I keep looking at myself because everybody says I look like this all the time, and I'm realizing it.
You're Jamaican.
I have something. You put on my cool glasses. These are my readers. But I actually have a better pair. There we go.
Okay.
This is my Swifty Lazars. Kevin and I just, we needed something different. Jesse Collins is like, what you got? And we both realized that our wives watch these damn shows that we supposedly can't stand.
Right.
But when they try to turn the channel, you're like, wait. And then we were like, you know what would be funny? The Husbands. And so we got Nelly, Jermaine Dupri, Anthony Anderson, Nick, and Kevin. I think that's the first five. Nick Cannon,
okay.
Yeah. And the shit went viral. And everybody wanted it. And so they didn't pick it up immediately. Then we did it again with Sam Jackson.
Okay.
Fabulous, Faison, and a couple other people. And it just,
Right.
There was no denying.
Right. Yeah, no, man. I mean, it hit. That was, like you said, it was viral. Everybody was talking about it. And that's, that was a barbershop moment.
Exactly.
I had Keith Robinson on earlier, and I remember we were talking about,
Love Keith Robinson.
yeah, we were talking about Key and Peele. And I remember saying to Keith, because I had done a show with Key and Peele, and I had never, like you were saying, certain people come through our circuit. Right. And I think Key and Peele came through, they came through the sketch world, with Mad TV. But even before Mad TV, like Second City, Groundlings, UCB. And so I wasn't familiar with them. And I think we were doing something for the New York Toyota Comedy Festival, and Caroline's Louis Ferrand. He's like, "Hey, Dean, I need somebody to open for Key and Peele." And I'm like, I'm not an opening act. I'm a headliner. But he's told me the money. I was like, okay, I'll open, So I go and do the show with them, and then I watch their act, and it's interspersed with clips from the show. And afterwards, man, I kind of apologized to them. I was like, yo, I ain't gonna front, man. I said, I didn't know what y'all were gonna do. Y'all are dope. Yeah. And cause for comics, if we don't know you, we judge you based off of what you do on stage. And until you prove it, we kind of looking at you like, I mean, yeah, you funny, but you ain't me. I don't know you, right? But after they won me after that, and I told them, I was like, apologize. I was like, yo, man, I apologize for down y'all are amazing. And I remember talking to Keith afterwards. I was like, yo, I said, I wonder why cats don't really check for them. He's like, they're not barbershop proven. And I was like, you know what? That's interesting, because then we used Chappelle's show as an example. And Chappelle's show was a show that cats in the barbershop were laughing about and talking about. And eventually, I think Key and Peele's show eventually did become barbershop status, but I think it took a moment for us to come around to it. Real Husbands, from the first time it was on the BET Awards, it was barbershop talk, and how does that feel, because it's like you said, the genesis was you and Kev just spitballing ideas and taking it back to the wives. Yeah, shows that you watch with your spouses, and you said to yourself, yo, there could be something in us taking it from the other perspective, from the male perspective. Right. As a creative, how does that feel to you when you have something, you catch lightning in a bottle and it explodes the way it did?
It felt great. It felt great to be someone who could now hire other people. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that writer's room was filled with, it was Johnny Mack, it was Joey Wells, it was Buddy Lewis, it was, friends. And, no one knows you better than your friends. And so Kevin had his friends in there. Harry did a season or two. Right. And it was just remarkable. I mean, Wayne Stamps, another guy named Calvin Brown, Ralph Farquhar was at the head, Michelle Brown, Robin Thede, Allison Pack, David Arnold. I mean, this room is the best writer's room I've ever been in my life.
Dig it. Constantly
funny.
And that also speaks to you, because at this point you're wearing a producer's hat, right? You're not just wearing a writer's hat. You're wearing a producer's hat because you're hiring and bringing in friends of yours, but friends that are qualified. And going back to something we were talking about during the first hour, when someone said Black people don't hire Black people. You're a prime example of someone that did, but you can't just hire someone because they look like you. You got to hire someone that's qualified. Yes. And people have to understand that when you get an opportunity, because even the world we're living in now, where everyone's more aware, everyone's more kind. Black people have been conscious of everything that's going on, but now everyone's aware of what's been going on with with police brutality against unarmed Black people, and now that everyone is aware of, you know, this access, people get a better understanding of what it's been like when you were the only Black person in the room. Because I'm sure you have friends that aren't of color that during all of this have now been calling you a little more like, hey man, how you doing? You know, how can I be an ally? And you appreciate it, but you're also kind of like, hey man, you know, first of all, this call is weird. Right? This is a weird call. Best thing you can do is just how about opening your mind and being empathetic and understanding that, you know, if I'm saying there's an issue, maybe there is. Mm-hmm. You know, I just got serious. I'm sorry, y'all. Sometimes I get heavy at times. But saying that because, you know, I've been in positions where I've had opportunities to bring people in, and sometimes your friends, have you ever had that? Have you had friends that got mad that you didn't hire them? Absolutely. Not because they
absolutely
because they were, yeah.
You know, because, you know, it was, but I have to tell them it's hard for us to hire Black males because we had 7 leads that are Black males, except for Robin and Nick.
Right.
So everybody else we're going to hire are going to play. We're going to find some non-Black male roles, and then I can hire Dean to come play the cop because the world knows Dean Edwards is a comedian. So it was different because we were doing a full reality show, so it was hard to hire people we knew already were known for something. You know what I mean? So if Shaq had to play Shaq. Chris Brown is Chris Brown. So and it just got kind of frustrating. People say, I can't believe you had a show and I ain't never been on. I was like, I wasn't on your show. You know what I mean?
You know, I'm using that in the future. That's somebody says, how come you ain't have me? I wasn't on your show.
Directors, like, yo, how come I ain't never directed an episode of your show? I was like, how come I ain't never been in an episode of a show you directed?
Ain't that something?
Yeah.
Speak that. Yeah, that's real. And it also shows the beauty of becoming a producer is you have that hiring power. The detriment to becoming a producer is you have this perceived power, and now everyone that you've ever met thinks that you owe them something, right?
Yeah.
Anyone that you've ever worked with thinks that's the interesting dynamic. It's an interesting power dynamic that I've never, until you just pointed it out. I'm like, oh, you know what? That's the flip side to it. So shout out to Woody the Great. What up, fam? So
Tone Bell.
Shout out to Tone Bell, who is yo, real quick, because we were talking about the internal Texas beefing going on, and so Ali had Tone Bell on earlier, and let me tell you something. I even wrote it in the comments. I said, yo, Tone is the ultimate politician because he made sure he said nothing to offend anyone from Dallas, from Fort Worth, from Houston or Arlington, and then added, you know, but technically I'm from Atlanta. In fact, so that was funny.
What, baby?
Oh, what else? So you do 5 seasons on the Real Husbands. You have more power, you know, in Hollywood, in the small corner of Hollywood that you've carved out. You now have you know, power, you know, to some level where people are now, would you say people are calling you now versus you having to sort of seek them out?
Yeah. You know, there's always that kind of, I mean, I was fortunate Kenya Barris called me.
Okay.
Produce on his show, Grownish. But a lot of times, I wasn't really ready to start writing again. I was ready to perform.
The actor, the performer was waiting to.
Yes, and no one was calling. And then Kenya was like, yo, come, I got this new show, spin off of Blackish. I was like, I don't want to write. I want to be a star.
Hold on, and your kids are older, And now you're like, damn, school's more expensive.
Yes.
They want to do more things, more activities.
Now that and they're crooked, so they need braces.
Right.
So I had a great experience. So experienced at Grownish because I didn't want to be there, and I think they felt it. And
really
funny, and they wanted to be serious, and so it was just, you know what I mean. But it was a fucking incredible show. Incredible.
Yeah. No, the family loves it. Now, speak to me about that, Chris, because you it sounds like from day one, when you first started, you always were mature enough to know what you wanted to do and weren't willing to necessarily compromise yourself while doing that. So even with Grownish, you took the gig because all of us can be honest. Kenya Barris becomes one of the hottest writers in Hollywood. Blackish becomes this huge success. He gets a deal to create Grownish and then also Mixedish and then Black as F eventually. So if the dude calls anybody, you're gonna say, well, yeah, I'm not gonna say no to a gig because it's nice. It's nice to get called because we all remembered when we didn't get those calls, right?
Absolutely.
Right. So, but when getting there, you also are honest enough for them to feel that you don't want to be there.
At Real Husbands, I was like number two man, Ralph Farquhar than me. I get to grow, and I'm like 3 or 4, and I'm like, I feel like an employee.
Right.
On the other show, I gotta go use the phone for 30 minutes. I'll go in my office, use the phone for 30 minutes, or have another in it. Here, it's like it was a job. You work for whatever, and then we have a lunch break, and then we have you know what I mean? I felt confined. Right,
and restricted, and you said that too because you said earlier that Real Husbands was probably the most fun room that you worked it up until this point, actually career-wise, probably.
Sometimes it was very non-productive because we talked shit for 3 hours before we started writing.
But then the magic happened, and you were able to. And talk to me about that. When for the people that because also what I like doing with this live podcast is letting cats that always maybe had a dream to get into this industry or any industry really. Talk to me about you're in a writer's room and the process of the creating, and because I've been in writers' rooms, at SNL and understand, some people think that you just show up and y'all get right in, but explain to the people that are watching the process of when everyone shows up and how y'all kick it and you're spitballing, just talking before you even start spitballing.
All right, but don't kill me. I didn't. My wife was looking at me like we're supposed to be eating. I don't know. I don't have, so I'm definitely going to answer this. And if there's anything else, just let me know.
Okay. Thank you, Vanessa.
How to be on TV again. So you have a show, and you arc the season depending on the show. Like some shows have episodes that are just like freestanding episodes. It's gonna be a beginning, a middle, and an end, and you don't have to watch another episode to figure out what the hell's going on, right?
Right.
So we did a couple of seasons of Real Husbands like that, where there was no arc. Sometimes we had like a mini arc with 3 episodes went together, but there was an arc.
Right.
She's gonna be here, and by the end of episode 12, she'll be here. And so you got to map those out. So you'll go, okay, she's gonna get to school. And she's going to meet her friends. And what's going to happen on that first day? What's going to happen on the second week? So we map out the whole season. We figure out who those characters are and who's going to be playing who within those episodes and what the A, B, and the C story is going to be. And then you assign we outline it together.
Right.
Get a board together. And then you go out and outline. Assigned writers, okay? Dean, you're going to write episode 3. Billy, you're going to write episode 7. And you'll have an idea of what you need to do before you go out and write. Like, we'll outline it together as a group.
Okay.
Then you write it, and then you bring it back, and we go, this is a piece of shit. And then we rewrite it, and then we give it to the network, the studio for notes, and then we rewrite that, and then we give it to the studio who likes it, and then we give it to the network for notes, and then it's a process. Right.
So it's writing a show 101 for everyone that's never had it. Chris, because I know your wife is waiting and her stomach is so we're about to wrap this up. Lastly, real quick, give us the name of your show so that people that aren't watching will tune into you and your wife's IG live show.
Date Night with Chris and Vanessa every Wednesday at 6 p.m. Pacific Coast Standard Time.
Okay, so that's 9 p.m. on the East. Date Night with Chris and Vanessa.
Yes, we've had Boris and Nicole Kojo, Dondre, and Sally Richardson Whitfield. We've had D Nice. We've had Tiffany Haddish. We had Holly and Rodney Pete. We've had we had Kenny Burns and Jessica Burns last week.
Okay.
And then we had Cody and Tommy Oliver, the people who created Black Love. We've had some incredible guests. We've had an incredible time.
Great.
Tina Austin, Beyonce Mama, she did it.
Right. Okay. All right. And what do you have? Did you have anything cooking up pre-quarantine that we can look out for?
The Real Husbands movie I'm writing.
Okay.
I have another deal with Morgan Freeman's company that a partner and I am writing.
That's wonderful to hear.
That I'm writing.
Okay.
And a couple other little things that are kind of brewing that could possibly be fantastic.
Right. But the main thing is just staying busy.
Quarantine is
outside of it.
Down at this damn desk.
Right. And also I think like I said, Chris has become a go-to because I remember seeing you sit in front row working Def Comedy Jam's 25th anniversary. Which was an amazing experience. That was awesome to be present. And more recently, when Chappelle won was awarded the Mark Twain Center, the Kennedy Center Mark Twain Prize. You were there. So Chris is everywhere, man. I appreciate you and love you, brother. Much love to your lovely wife.
We would have ate first, and we could do this whole 2-hour or 6-hour interview that we're doing right now.
Hey, you know what? JB went 3 hours because we kept forgetting. And JB Smooth, when he starts going, it's hard to get him to stop, Chris.
Wow. So good at that.
Yo, so man, I appreciate you hanging out with me, man. And
bring me back.
Of course. And like I said, next week for everybody that's watching, we have Marina Franklin. A week after that, we have Finesse Mitchell. And the first Monday in August, we have my man Jay Farrell is going to be on there. And I think I have 2 more SNL cats coming on the following weeks after that. So I'm doing like a whole SNL block. So it's going to be fun. So Chris, man, I appreciate it. Go get your food. And I'll wrap up with the folks that are still watching and rocking with me, man.
Thank you, everybody that was watching. Ginger, Tima, and Tracy Walters, and there's a lot of people. Thank you, man.
Yeah, good. All right, B.
Peace.
I'll speak to you. All right, peace. Yeah. So there we have it. My man Chris Spencer rocked out with us. Thank you again to his lovely wife Vanessa for sharing him for the last 96. Technically, it wasn't 90 minutes because we had technical difficulties. I want to thank my man Rob Stapleton for sending Chris the text so we at least had a better understanding of what was going on with his technical difficulties. I'll make sure Chris might not be here anymore, but Kim Christian, I'll make sure that you said that he did a great job. I love you, me. Yes, you were late. If when you just sent a message, you said you missed most of it, but it's on the page so you can check it out. Hip Hop Elise, thanks for hanging out. And yo, for any, you know what, if y'all have questions that maybe you want me to ask, I'm gonna start doing that. Like sometime during the week, I'm gonna put up a post, and when I put up the post, I'll put something saying if anybody has questions for the upcoming guests. Again, like I said, next week we have Marina Franklin, a brilliant comic and good friend. Following week we have a good friend, Saturday Night Live alums, Finesse Mitchell, and then the following week after that, which I believe is August 3rd, we will have my man Jay Farrow, and we'll have some fun with that because then we can do a bunch of impressions. And actually, August I'm making impression month. Pretty much everybody I have on in August will be someone that you all know that does amazing impressions. So it's your man Dean Edwards. Appreciate y'all rocking out with me. All love. 2 fingers. Peasy. I'll see y'all next week. Stay black. All right. Peace.